Boss Rebirth Podcast. We're here with another exciting, young, vibrant guest, Allister McLean. Alright, so welcome, Allister, on the program.
Give thanks, Jim Boss. What's up?
But there, tell the people them about you.
Alright, well, Allister is a youth, come from country, Georges Valley, Manchester to be more specific. There, so is my stamping ground as a little youth. And I migrated to Kingston at around age 5.
With families?
Well, by myself because of my disability.
Which is?
I am totally blind. I was diagnosed with glaucoma at birth. So I left Manchester at age 5 because there is just one school in Jamaica that provides specialized education for blind and visually impaired children. That is the Salvation Army School for the Blind in Kingston. And you don't know, I have to send a special shout out to them because that institution is the bedrock of my development. So big up School for the Blind.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
So you meet a lot of peers similarly at that institution. Is that the one close to Campion?
It is on Manningshill Road. So it is, you would say, between Whitehall and Havendale.
So
it is across from Super Value.
You enrolled in that school at what age?
I enrolled in that school at age 5, 1997.
Going straight up to what age?
I would have do up to GSAT there, but even after GSAT, the great thing about that school is that even up to GSAT, they provide boarding for persons who are attending high school. Because what really happened is that a lot of students who attended that school for the blind, come from rural Jamaica. So, you know, when you do your
Most of them come from rural Jamaica?
Yeah, man. But, well, at least in my time.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you naturally do your GSAT, GSAT was it at the time? It wasn't common entrance, and now you have PEP. So it was GSAT at my time. So naturally, when you do your GSAT, you're placed at a high school in Kingston.
Right. Alright. So, how was that experience for you, though? Like in terms of the support, teaching support, the ability to, you know, properly give education to person that you might say have disability or other disability. How was that environment like?
Well, I tell you something, you know, it was great, you know, because at Salvation Army School for the Blind, I learned how to read and type Braille. So I am proficient in Braille. And, you know, without Braille, I wouldn't be a literate person. So, you know, I learn how to read, learn how to spell. And you learn other basic skills because we had chores as students that we had to do that helped us with mobility. So you learn how to do your mapping and so on because you had to map the dams, you had...
they gave you duties.
Yeah, man, you had
so
duties.
You can feel competent.
Absolutely, you had duties. And we had mobility training, so they also teach us how to navigate crossing the road, how to iron. There are a plethora of things.
Allister, your shirt is a really nice shirt. The color.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
It's a nice color. And I remember you were telling me that you personally had to iron it, you know, to make your way to the interview and all of that. So, you know, exceptional. But in terms of, so you're at that level, you did the GSAT. You're at Jamaica College, oh boy, just like myself.
Yeah, man.
How that transition came about?
It was great.
It's from GSAT, so you passed the GSAT to JC? Or
well,
you reach up at JC?
How I reach up at JC, you know, I mean, what really happened, you know, when I was in grade 5, my principal, my former principal, Vivalin Latiscat, she took me to Pegasus to teach some people Braille and so on. They had an expo at Pegasus. And we were doing Braille awareness. And the integrated teacher at Salvation Army School for the Blind who is now the principal, Mr. Clement Irawi, he was very impressed by how I articulated myself and so on. And they made some contacts with Jamaica College even before I did GSAT. So before doing GSAT, I know that I had a space there. They were sure that I'm going to pass the exams and things based on my whole projection. When I was at grade 2, I was reading at grade 4 level. When I was at grade 5, I was really doing well.
So let's say you were exceptional, even though person would say, you know, visually impaired and all of that. You're always at the top of your class.
Yes, man.
How that mindset come about? Is that you compensate from, you know, one disability to enhance another? You know, person that here, like say, if you're disabled in one aspect, another motor skill kick in, you know, for compensate for that disability. Academically, how you see yourself, you know, excelling above your peers?
Well, at that time, you know, I never think about it in those complex terms. You know, I was just a little youth having fun, doing school, learning, and I just believe that, you know, as someone I come from the country and so on, I always get joy out of making my mother proud. Because when my mother collect my school report and, you know, I leave to go to the country on holidays, you know, she would walk around the community with the report, showing neighbors, oh, my son doing very well, and that was really great, you know. And when people come to the house, she would take down my medals and she would take down my certificates and say, wow, this is what Alex is doing and all of that, because Alex is what I am passionately called by friends and family. So, you know, that just that joy I always want to make my mother proud. So,
speaking about mommy, big up mommy, right? I'm sure on her end it wasn't easy.
It wasn't
you
easy.
Understand?
It wasn't easy.
Do you have any other siblings?
Yeah, man. So I share 4 siblings in terms of my mother. Children, my mother has 3 other children, and I have 3 other siblings by my father's side, so that would make 7 siblings overall. Yeah, man.
And the support is there for you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The support is there.
But I remember you at JC, right? You're always involved in every level of activity.
Yes, man.
Student council, you know, prefect. Most of the time, you know, you just hear people voice, so you can pick out who this and all of that. And I always find it very interesting. So I wasn't sure if you were fully, you know?
Yes. Fully blind.
Yeah, fully. So I used to really wonder if it was a gimmick, basically, to me, because you always have the friends around you. And that's the next thing that most people don't know about male school, all boys school. There's a camaraderie, a real support system.
Yes, man.
Not like everybody go fight against each other. And, you know, animalistic. It was real support system.
No, sir.
Man.
Nothing like
you had that.
I had that at Jamaica
Everybody
College.
always wanted to support you.
Absolutely.
So how was the teaching at Jamaica College for teachers that first encounter with, you know, your disability, how they bring across a lesson so that you can participate in the class?
Well, fortunately for me, when I attended Jamaica College, I wouldn't have been the first blind or visually impaired student to have gone to Jamaica College. So you had trailblazers who basically set the trend. And these students performed very well. And so by the time I reached there, most of the teachers had some form of experience of teaching, and if not teaching, interacting with persons who are blind and visually impaired. So it wasn't a culture shock for teachers and so on. So in terms of my lessons and how I function within the classroom, most times because I was using my braille machine to type the notes and so on, instead of writing the notes on the board, the teachers would dictate. Whichever class I'm in, the teachers would dictate the notes instead of just writing it on the board. So by dictation, I am listening and I am making my notes. In terms of marking my assignments, because a lot of my assignments are also did in braille. So what would happen, like in hours outside of teaching, I would go to the staff room and read my assignments to the teachers, and they would give me a grade. Yeah, that was one of the way how I functioned at the time. So I would read my assignments and the teachers would give me a grade. Separate and apart from that, we had an integrated teacher from School for the Blind. And that teacher task was to really just go around to the high school where you had blind and visually impaired students to ensure that everything is up to standard, ensure that they are getting their assignments done. And what that teacher put in place, the teacher put a system in place where you had volunteers from other schools and institutions such as church, civil society groups, NGOs, all of that. They would come to the boarding institution and they would assist persons who are blind with work. You know, like they would be there and they would read things from my textbook, especially the literature books. So they would read it and I would record it on my tape recorder so I would be able to listen some of the stuff and so on. So things like that really help to make the process manageable.
Right. Well, so there is a support system, structure.
A structured support system.
That could help you, matriculate.
Absolutely.
In academics.
Absolutely.
All right, so what was some of the interests for you at the high school level, though, in terms of curriculum, sports,
curricular
hobbies?
activity?
Yeah, what was that for you?
At high school. Well, if you should talk to any one of the old boys who played Manning Cup at my time, they would tell you that the only thing stopped me from playing football was my eyesight because I was always around the football team. So, you know,
you used to go to match them to
yeah, man, and even on match days, you know, the guys had permission, the footballers, yeah, they had permission to leave their class a little bit earlier to prepare and so on. And I would actually leave class as well, and I would be down by the dressing room with the guys, soaking up the atmosphere, listening to the coaching strategy, whatever. So I was always there around the football and so on. And outside of that, no, things that I really participated in, I was involved with Key Club,
yeah.
Rotaract Club. I was also involved with the United Nations Club. You mentioned earlier on Student Council, the whole works. And definitely Interact Club and SFA, because, you know, those clubs really give you the opportunity to interact with the fairer sex. Yes? So, you know, definitely I couldn't leave out those.
So what was that though? Because, you know, you get a little rub down and thing on, you know, your assistant crossing the road and all of that, which you're sure of that.
Well, to be honest, I'm raised as a gentleman, so you know, I'm not the type of guy to overdo certain things. You know, I am not milking it like a Sir Island cow, but but I can tell you, I met some wonderful ladies at the time, you know. Because I think generally speaking, like I get help from both men and women, but naturally, I think it's just instinct that women are more nurturers. So while a guy would ask me if I need help, women don't ask. Them just instinctively believe that I need to be helped. So I receive a lot of assistance from ladies, and I make some wonderful friends, and I even had relationships and so on. So,
nice.
That was a great experience.
Right. So relationship come with success and heartbreak, you know?
Yeah, man.
You have your heartbreak already?
Yes, man. I have those type of stuff, man. Heartbreak and, you know. Also, you want a story?
I want your story.
All right, so let me see which one of the stories forgive you, because you have the several heartbreaks, you know. All right. So I was at high school and I I was with my girlfriend, and you know, things were seemingly going well. Thought I was in love. Even foolishly even give up my laptop so she could have done her schoolwork like her IAs and things. And put my IAs on pause because I feel like me in love, so I make the sacrifice and thing. And then now, like when I went home for the Easter break, you know, I was told that it's over, you know.
Did you get back your laptop though?
It's over. Yeah, man, me get back my laptop, man. Yeah. And I was told that it's over, man. And may I tell you, man, and you know, you go on the phone like a diplomat and you try to negotiate. You see food and you can't eat it, you know.
Yeah.
You want to sleep.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, man, you want to sleep and can't sleep.
I play some music, you start listen to the lyrics now.
Yeah, man, you start remember some of the songs that you used to listen to when things were going well, and you can't, I mean, hearing those songs is like, you know, salt, pouring salt into a wound.
Yeah.
All of those stuff, man. So I've been there like any other person. That is just part of the process, you know? Yeah, man.
So you listen to that girl right now, if she, a woman, if she's listening, she break your heart. I'm sure you never deserve it, because you think everything will go on good. And
yeah, man.
You do your thing, you help her, and she just pull the rug from you.
Pull the rug from beneath my feet.
You're good, you look good, things are going for you. You understand?
Yeah.
Should they try to reach out back to you? Should try to get some closure?
Well, I'll tell you what happened now. We met in university and thing, and you know, we had conversations, but we never really delved too much in the relationship thing, because by then she had moved on. I had moved on.
You re-meet her up by UA?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Re-meet her up by UA and thing, and she was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, and you know.
Well, let's hear party, carnival. Are you normally there? Those social events?
Well, a party. I've gone to many parties. I don't think a
party than me, you know.
I don't think a party as much as I used to, but I've done the whole works, man. The carnival, the parties. When I was at UA, the whole integration Thursdays. Beyond that, you know, at the time it was club privilege. So you got the whole parties, man. I've gone to many parties. Now you know the MVPs, all of that. I've gone to many parties. High school, it started with high school. You used to have the little socials down by Mike on a Friday, yeah, man. You go down and Mike go dance up and two girl and thing, man, and you feel good as a youth at the time, yeah, you know. And I mean, it was a joy. It was a joy, you know. I've been there.
Which women's school you're more attracted to, you know, like the woman, the champion, alpha?
Well, I tell you something, you know, as a JC man, I mean, you know, we have a special relationship with St. Andrews. So at my time in high school, yeah, man. So at my time in high school, it was either St. Andrews or Immaculate, really.
They say that.
And they were easier to meet. I mean, Campions girls are nice too, but I mean, most of them you don't really see them on the road. Car come pick them up, you know, parents. Take Alicia down to the office, and you know, you know, so I mean, you rarely saw them on the road and things. So, but it was mostly Immaculate and St. Andrews High School at the time.
All right, so successfully matriculated to university. What was the course you were doing?
At UA now, I did public policy and management.
Public policy
and management.
Oh, what does that entail in the real world?
All right. So, public policy really deals with how government functions, the different arms of government, and how the process in terms of policy formation. What influences it? How is it implemented, monitored? All of that. That is public policy. And also management now, it is dealing with how development, how you manage different projects, different organizational structures, change management. So management is very broad in and of itself. How you manage risk management, how you manage crisis. So several things along that line.
All right. So you're working at where now?
Well, I'm working with the government of Jamaica.
And how is that transition?
Well, it wasn't a difficult transition for me because I have always been interested in giving back some amount of service to the country and service to just the citizenry at large. Because my thing is that without assistance, I wouldn't be able to reach where I am at today. So I was working before at Department of Government, and also I did a stint at Department of Economics as well at UWI, and then now I'm with the GOJ.
Good. Proud of you, Allister. All right, so government-wise, policy-wise, is there enough being done to help, a vulnerable citizen, visually impaired, deaf, other disabilities, person of that community? Is there enough policies, access to resources that are implemented from your personal experience that can actually help them have a successful life just like the ordinary person?
There's a lot to be improved. I will tell you, there's a lot to be improved. But there is institutions set up to assist persons with disabilities. So there is legislation on institutions. So in terms of legislation, you have the Disabilities Act that came into effect on the 14th of February last year. And that act guarantees persons with disabilities certain rights. So it's not options now. So the rights, it guarantee your right in terms of employment, equal participation in public life, rights in terms of accessing health, education, housing, transportation. The act, it is very broad. It delves into all of that. So the Disability Act is a powerful piece of legislation. You have the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities now, which is the government agency that deals with policies concerning persons with disabilities. So the JCPD is responsible for basically implementing government policy.
Is there a grant given to persons?
But I mean, I was about to complete by before going on to grants and so on.
Yeah, man, sure.
I was about to say that there's a lot needed to be improved. For example, we don't have enough interpreters for persons who are deaf. And I think if we have more interpreters, persons who are deaf would be better able to receive service in terms of health, justice, and so on.
Justice.
Yeah, man. And I also believe that even for persons who are blind and visually impaired, the infrastructure, now you're looking that some of the sidewalks, they are very narrow, and the light poles are in the middle of the sidewalks. So, it's a hurdle. Sometimes you're at the mercy of the motorists because you have to step off the sidewalk, go into the road to avoid some of these light poles. Sometimes, now in terms of mobility, you're looking at even the stoplights, that a lot of them you don't have audio in them. So you always have to be depending on someone who is at the sign to assist you to cross, to tell you when the light is on red, so you can go and cross. And as someone who is fiercely independent, I am an advocate for assistive technologies that, you know, empowers persons with disabilities to be independent as possible. You have buildings that don't have elevators, so persons who are physically challenged, who use wheelchairs, can access and so on. So, you know, things like that. There's a lot of improvement to be done in terms of that. You were asking me about grants just now. So, at the JCPD, you have the Economic Empowerment Grant, and that is a grant available to persons with disabilities who want to do some business for themselves. That person has to be unemployed to be able to obtain that grant. So you have the Economic Empowerment Grant. And there are other grants as well, such as assistive aid grants. And the assistive aid grants now are grants that would help with mobility equipment so that as a person with disability you are able to function effectively. So, for example, someone who has lost a limb because they have diabetes or so, and they need a prosthesis, you can apply for the assistive aid grant. For someone who is hard of hearing, then of course they can apply for a hearing aid. For persons who are in school and need a laptop to really be able to do their assignments independently, you can apply for for funding, because you don't actually get the equipment. What you really get is funding to purchase these assistive aid. So you can, you know, get funding to purchase like a laptop or so on. So you have grants available.
But you're well informed on all of these. Is it that you have a keen interest of, you know, what's happening for your community, or are those information normally passed on to persons, you know, of certain disability readily? You have to search for the information, or then try to make it accessible for persons that fit the criteria?
Well, I have a keen interest in what is happening in my community. I'm a registered member of the Jamaica Society for the Blind. The Jamaica Society for the Blind is a non-profit and non-governmental organization that advocates for the rights of persons who are blind and so on. So you have a lot of information that filters through the Jamaica Society for the Blind. I'm also involved with Combined Disabilities Association, and that is rather a broader umbrella group that you know, lobbies and advocate for the disabilities community on a whole. And beyond that, I have the privilege of sitting on the board of directors for Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. So a lot of these support grants and so on, I would have access to the information.
Excellent.
Right. Because I'm in close proximity to what is happening.
Ready? All right. So, Allister, on a more pressing note, when you heard about, you know, the disappearance of Jasmine Dean, a member of the, you know, the disability community, how did that resonate to you? You know, knowing that you're of the same predicament in terms of visibility, and up to present there is no disclosure of if she's found or if she's, you know, or whereabouts. How does that make you feel knowing that all of that happened?
Well, I felt very empathetic towards her family, and I felt bad about the whole situation. But my feeling of dismay has nothing to do with the fact that she has a visual challenge. I just believe that no human being, I mean, whatever happens to her, no human being deserves it. whether she is disabled or not. It is just a very bad situation. And when you actually know the person, because I spoke to her about 3 weeks before she actually went missing. So you know, when you actually know the person, it is somewhat more you're more jolted by it.
Wow.
Because she was at UWI studying, you know, and I went by UWI to visit some friends and so on, and you know, I saw her and we had a conversation. And at the time I was asking her, you know, why you're not living on Hall, because...
Oh, you mentioned that?
Yeah, man, I asked her why you're not living on Hall. And it wasn't really about, to be honest, her safety. It was really about having a fulsome UWI experience.
Because you lived on Hall, right?
Yeah, man. Taylor. Big up Taylor Hall. Yeah, man. Proud Taylor, right? So yeah. I lived on Hall.
So there's a concern there. All right. So how important it is also to vet the person around you, because you know you'll rely on certain needs, certain support system. How important it is to vet the person around you. You know, that might answer your call, might have access to your finance. You know, might have access to information that might be threatening to your life or just the safety overall.
Well, thanks to technology, when it comes to banking, just financing, when it comes, I have a level of privacy in term, but you know, I am not a man that stands alone. I requires assistance. So, you know, in terms of like, from time to time I would use transportation services to go around and so on. So, you know, it's about building relationships and trusting people who have been consistently good or consistently fair, and understanding when people are looking to exploit you. You know, so I take trust very serious, and I really value loyalty. The people who come around because they believe that I can do something to benefit them and they are only there for that, you know, I tend to feed those persons, as they would say in country, with a very long spoon. As in, you don't give them access to very intimate details about your life, or you don't allow them to see in very confidential documents and so on. So it's all about leveraging relationships and having a small circle of like-minded people who you can rely on.
Good. Family. Any consideration in terms of having your own family?
Oh, definitely.
Children?
That's a must. That's a must, man. I'm very family-oriented, believe in the traditional family, and I would like to have 3 beautiful children and raise them. I mean,
definitely.
If not 3, then maybe 2. But ideally, in the ideal world, I would love to have 3 children. Absolutely.
For the same person?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, man. One mother. Would want all my children, you know. I wouldn't want down the line dealing with the quote-unquote baby father, baby mother drama. None of them stuff there. So I value stability. I like dependability. I like consistency, reliability, all the adjectives. So it would be one mother raising all of those, raising my beautiful, lovely children.
You think you get trouble or you're going to be supported?
No, man. Very supportive, man. Yeah, man. Very supportive.
So there's a prominent figure in, you know, in the political sphere. I mean, the guy.
Who that?
Floyd.
Oh, Floyd. Senator Floyd Morris.
Right. You have aspiration for, you know, ministerial representation?
Well, I mean, Floyd has done very well for the community, not just for himself. He has leveraged his foray in politics to advance the agenda of the disabilities community. His high point, becoming the president of the Senate, is no easy feat, you know. And he was also a state minister, and I am sure that he is very proud of Jamaica having implementing the Disabilities Act. And he was a key figure in lobbying for the Disabilities Act. So he has done well. In terms of me, where I see myself sometime down the line, what I would want to do, I would want to be the first person with a disability to become a member of the cabinet. I mean, that has not yet been done by a person with disability. And I would want to do that because I just believe that we should always have a seat at the table, because it is estimated that around 15% of our population has some form of disability. So to have so much persons in our population with a disability, and they have so much policies and so on, when policies are implemented, it must take into account persons with disability. And I would definitely want to be the first cabinet member in Jamaica with a disability. That is my
We're there for support you for that.
Yeah, man.
Trust me, it can happen. All right. So, Allister, just to wrap up, how do you see your life looking back? How do you see your life moving forward? So, looking back and moving forward, if you should summarize.
Looking back, going forward. I have very few regrets. Looking back, I would say that, like, I think how I used to live, like, time is like everything for me. I mean, I am always urgent now than I was before. My greatest regret in my past had to do with my mom, actually. My mom is deceased. And, I remember when she was coming near to the end, she was down by my sister's house off Windward Road, and I was at UWI at the time. World Cup was going on, and mommy come up from country. She was down by my sister's house. She was like very, very ill, and my sister called me and said, "Alex, your mommy down here, And this was like on the Saturday, right? And I say, "Yeah, man, me I go come down there tomorrow, come check her and thing. Me I go come spend the whole day." No, that was my intention. And the only thing that hold me back, I was there watching football. I say, "Oh, me I go spend tomorrow with mommy, because boy, football I play and me get caught up with that." And by the Sunday morning, I got a call. "Alex, come now." And I knew that it was over.
You knew from the call?
I knew from the call. I heard, "Alex, come now." My sister said, "Alex, just come down here now." And the only thing I said was, "Tell mommy to hold on." And I not even had a shower. By the time I just wash my face and jump on a cab and go down to the house. My sister partner at the time met me at the gate and said, "Alex, your mommy gone. She died." And I stepped in the house, held her hand, and her hand was limped. Her body was still warm at the time. And it was just one of those moments, because up to this day, I have a struggle, because weeks leading up to that, we were talking on the phone, me and my mom, and she was saying that she had something to say to me, but she can't say it to me on the phone.
She wanted to say it in person.
She wanted to say something, but she can't tell me on the phone. So, up to this day, I wonder, what did she want to say? So now, sometimes I'm interacting with people, and people believe that I'm a little bit impatient, and I'm always rushing to do things. It's because I've learned to appreciate time more based on my past experience. You know, I've learned to appreciate time more in my past experience. And going forward in the future, it's all about building a good family, you know, fighting for more financial inclusion and financial literacy. I'm very big on that, and so on. And it's all about just finding the best way how to serve humanity, because I believe that the God that is within me, that is what God wants us to do, to use the talents that He has given to us to serve humanity well. Yeah, man. So, just expect great things. Greatness continues.
Alex, I'm going to call you Alex because you're a friend, you're a family.
Yeah, man.
You understand? Condolences to Mommy. She had done an excellent job with birthing you, raising you, and to support you. And I'm sure whatever she had to say, a part of the speech would have been like, she's proud of you.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'm proud of you as a college man.
Yeah, man.
You know, you're still here.
Fervent forever, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Work is burning in the field. You understand? So, respect for passing through, sharing a story.
Yeah, man.
And there's many out there that has similar challenges, but you don't see it as a challenge. You see it as, you know, how to move forward with what you have been given.
Yeah, man.
You have done an excellent job so far. Anything you want to say to those people that, you know, might have family members that have certain type of disability and they don't know how to support them or to speak life into them, to make them know that it's not the end of the road. They can still achieve certain type of lifestyle and, you know, educational wise, and be a part of normal society?
Well, I would say to persons who have people with disabilities in their family, I know that not having the experience, you might think that, boy, those persons' life is finished for them. There's nothing they will be able to do and all of that. My thing is that don't imprison them. Don't put the, persons with disabilities in a box. And find a support system. Find an institution that deals with rehabilitation for persons with whatever the challenge is. Because a lot of persons are not actually born with the disability. A lot of persons become disabled in at some point in their life, whether it's through, you know, infirmity caused by NCD, non-communicable disease, or you know, it's an infirmity caused by accidents. So don't put these people in a box. It don't help them. Just find a good support system, and you know, there are a lot of persons with disabilities out there who you can use as mentors, and not mentors just to the person with disability, but mentor to you as well, in terms of showing you what to do and, you know, how to do it and all of that. So
well said.
Yeah, man, just be supportive, show them love and all of that, and they will excel. They will excel, because I know I'm not the only one. I know many other persons with disabilities who are fiercely independent. Fiercely. Persons with disabilities, they are not looking for a handout. They are looking for a hand up, not a handout. So, you know, yeah, man, just be supportive. Support their dreams and aspirations.
All right.
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. A lot of things you can learn from different people, from different backgrounds, different experiences. And we have the privilege to sit with Allister to, share his story, which we appreciate and all of that. So see you on the next one. All right.